Hello everyone, welcome to Neso Academy. In the previous lecture, we have understood well-defined learning problem. And now in this lecture, we will understand machine learning model. And this lecture is going to be very interesting because in this lecture, we will not only understand what is a machine learning model, but we will also train our own machine learning model from scratch, which will perform the image classification task. So basically, I will also show you the practical demonstration of a machine learning model in this lecture. So the topic for this lecture is machine learning model. Let's get started. Now, before we formally define what is a machine learning model, let's first understand the concept of an ML model with the help of a real-life example. Suppose there is a student who is having his mathematics examination tomorrow. So today he practices lots of mathematical problems. These practice problems will act as examples from which the student learns the patterns and underlying concepts of these problems. Now, after practicing all these mathematical problems, the student finally understands the patterns and underlying concepts of these practice problems. This understanding is known as the learned knowledge. This learned knowledge will be stored inside the student's brain. Now, tomorrow, on the day of examination, the student gets a question paper which contains the new unseen problems. That means the question paper does not contain any problem from these practice problems. All the problems are new and unseen problems. Now, do you think this student will be able to solve these unseen problems correctly? Yes, the student will be able to solve these problems correctly. Why? Because student has understood the underlying patterns and concepts behind the practice problems. This understanding, or we can say this learned knowledge, will help the student to solve even the unseen problems, because these unseen problems are also based on the same patterns of these practice problems. So I hope this example is now clear to you. And our machine learning model also works the same way. So now we can define our machine learning model. A machine learning model is a program that learns patterns from data and uses those patterns to make predictions or decisions on new data. What does that mean? It means that the machine learning model is a computer program that learns patterns from the data, which means we have to provide our machine learning model with lots of data, and then our machine learning model will learn the patterns and features from that data. Now, after learning the patterns from that data, machine learning model will use those patterns to make predictions or decisions on new and unseen data. If I relate this definition with this example, I can say that machine learning model is a program that learns patterns from the data and then uses those patterns to make predictions on the new unseen data. Now I hope you have understood this definition and this example clearly. Let's see the next point. Machine learning model is the stored learned knowledge obtained after training. It means after the process of training, whatever the learned knowledge is obtained, that is the knowledge of patterns and features from the data, that knowledge is stored inside the machine in the form of mathematical relationships. And that stored learned knowledge inside the machine is called as the machine learning model. Let's understand this point with a simple example. I hope you all remember this example that we have taken in our very first lecture. There, we have trained our machine using the multiple images of cats and dogs, so that our machine will be able to distinguish between the images of cats and dogs. Now, during the process of training, our machine learns the features and patterns of dogs and cats. Now, these features and patterns of dogs and cats is called as the learned knowledge. And this learned knowledge is stored inside the trained machine, which is called as the machine learning model. So this point is simply depicting this idea that the stored learned knowledge inside the machine, that is called as the machine learning model. So I hope the second point is also clear to you. Now, as I have already explained to you that machine learning model is actually a computer program. So do you want to see how a machine learning program looks like? This is how a machine learning program looks like. Now, just by observing this code, can you tell me what is the machine learning problem considered in this particular code segment? The machine learning problem taken in this particular code is house price prediction. We already know what is house price prediction. I have explained you in the previous lecture. It means that our machine learning model needs to predict the prices of the houses on the basis of the features of the houses. Now let's understand the basic working of this machine learning program. So first we have defined the training data, then we have created the machine learning model, then we have trained the machine learning model using this training data, and after that we are using the machine learning model to predict the prices of the new houses. First of all, we have defined the training data. X and Y are the variables used to represent the training data. As you can see, X represents the sizes of the houses and Y represents the corresponding prices of the houses. So these are the house sizes and these are the house prices. And this overall is the training data. Now we will create the machine learning model. For creating the machine learning model, first we have to write the name of the model and then we have to write the name of the machine learning algorithm. So here I have written the name of the model as model only. Then I have written linear regression. Linear regression is a type of machine learning algorithm. Don't worry, we will understand what is linear regression algorithm in detail in our second chapter. For now, just keep in mind that this model is trained on linear regression algorithm. By this, we have created our machine learning model. Now we have our training data, we have our machine learning model. So the next step is to train this machine learning model using this training data. So as you can see, we have written model.fit x, y. Now what is x, y? X, y is the training data and model is our machine learning model that we have just created. So according to this line, we are training our machine learning model using this training data. We are fitting the training data into our machine learning model. After this line, our machine learning model will be trained on this training data of house sizes and house prices. Now, the next step is to predict the price for a new house. So here you can see, I have taken 1800 as the house size. In the training data, we are not able to see 1800, which means 1800 is the size of a new house. Now we want our model to predict the price of this new house having the size 1800. The resulting prediction of the house price will be stored inside the variable prediction, and finally, we are printing the prediction obtained by our model. So this is the basic working of our machine learning model for predicting the house prices on the basis of house features. I know few things are left unclear to explain, but the agenda was not to explain you each and every line of this code snippet. I just wanted you to have a look at how machine learning program looks like. So I hope now the machine learning model is very much clear to you. Now comes the most exciting part of this lecture, the practical demonstration of our machine learning model, in which we will train our own machine learning model to classify the images of cats and dogs. So let's come to my computer screen. So now we are on my computer system, and as you can see, I have already opened a web browser. Now we will go to the search bar and we will type teachable machine and then we will click enter. This will give us multiple search results, out of which we will click the first result. This will take us to the website teachablemachine.withgoogle.com. Now, Teachable Machine is a platform by Google which is used to train and test machine learning models. So here we will click the Get Started button, and now you can see that we are on the New Project section. As our task is to classify the images of cats and dogs, so we will select an image project, a standard image model. Now here you can see there are two classes, class 1 and class 2. In class 1, we will upload the images of dogs, and in class 2, we will upload the images of cats. So let's rename our classes as dogs and cats. So first we will click on the class 1 and we will change its name to dogs. And then we will click the class 2 and we will rename it as cats. So now we have successfully renamed our two classes as dogs and cats. I repeat, in the class dogs, we will upload the images of dogs, and in class cats, we will upload the images of cats. Now, let's talk about the next section, which is training. After uploading the images of dogs and cats, we will click this button, that is Train Model. This will train our model on the images of dogs and cats. And after training our model, we will go to the preview section. In preview section, we will test our machine learning model by uploading the two different images. We will upload two entirely different images to test the performance of our machine learning model. So now let's start uploading our images. First, we will upload the images of dogs. So here we will click the upload button, then this button. And now you can see in the image classification cat dog folder, I have one more folder called as 01 dogs. In this, we have 10 images of dogs. So I will select all the images of dogs and then I will click the open button. And in this way, I have uploaded all the 10 images of dogs in the dogs class. Similarly, we will upload the images of cats. So we will click the upload button, then this button. And now in the same image classification folder, I have the second folder called as 02 cat. I will select all the images of cats, then I will click the open button, and this will upload all the 10 images of cats. Now you can see in the dogs class, I have 10 sample images of dogs, and in the cats class, I have 10 sample images of cats, entirely different from each other. Now, as I have already explained you, now we will click the train model button. So here I am clicking the train model button, and you can see our model is getting trained on this data. And now you can see our model is trained on these two categories of images. Now we will close this pop-up, and now you can see since the model is already trained, this means now our model can distinguish the images of dogs and cats. Model has learned the patterns and features of dogs and cats. Now we will move towards our preview section. Now in the preview section, we will change this webcam into file because we are going to upload an image file. Now we will click this button, and now you can see in the image classification folder, there is one more folder called as testing folder. In this testing folder, I have kept two images. One is of a cat and one is of a dog. These two images are entirely different from the images that we have used while training the model, because these two images will be used for testing our model. So let's click the first image, and now we will click the open button. Now you can see our image is uploaded in the preview section. Let's check the result. Here you can see the probability of dogs is 0% and the probability of cats is 100%, which means our model has correctly predicted this animal as a cat. Let's check for another image. Again, we have to click this button, Now we will select the image of a dog and we will click the open button. The image of dog is also uploaded. Let's check the results. This time the probability of dogs is 100% and the probability of cats is 0%, which means our model has correctly predicted this image as an image of a dog. In this way, we are done with the training as well as the testing of our model. Now, if you remember, I have explained you, every machine learning model is associated with a computer program. That means every machine learning model is actually a computer program. That means this trained model should also have a code behind it. Let's check. In the preview section, we will click the Export Model button and we will click the TensorFlow. Now you can see this is the code that is behind our machine learning model. So actually, machine learning model is a computer program. So in this way, we are done with our practical demonstration of the machine learning model and we are done with the image classification task. Now let's get back to our presentation. So now I hope you have understood the machine learning model. Also, we have trained as well as tested our own machine learning model for the image classification task. And in this way, we are done with our topic, machine learning model. So this was all from my side for this lecture. Thank you and I'll see you in the next lecture.